What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to talk about the Wolf Among Us 2 yet again. Look, we are in a busy season, or about to be in a busy season, in terms of announcements, right? You got the Xbox show, you got Ubisoft, you're probably going to have PlayStation, etc., etc. There's another one, though, Summer Games Fest, right, from our good old friend Jeff Keighley, and this is where it ties to the Wolf Among Us 2. Back when they, and actually him himself, and that is important, right? The last time we heard from the Wolf Among Us, yes, was from Telltale. I think they did a thing on like their own site and whatnot, but it was actually Jeff Keighley on social media, on Twitter, that actually pushed it. I didn't even know, like at the time, I thought he was the one like exclusively revealing this Wolf Among Us info, and the info, I mean, it's pretty much the game still happening and whatnot, and we got some new pictures. I think we got 4 new pictures. That's the last we heard of it. That was a few months ago. Maybe not actually that many months ago, but a last little while, okay? And I said back then, we made a video, I talked about it, I said about the importance of seeing this thing soon. And I really, yes, you show pictures, yes, you say the game's still happening, but this game has really gone through a lot, it sounds. And I mean, like, it's not super transparent. You got Telltale coming back from the dead. They do this, but there's been long rumors. In fact, rumors of Telltale appear in other people's rumors. So like when IGN wrote the story of Deck 9 and how there's a Life is Strange game coming, they actually felt the need, which is, I guess, fine, to include Telltale's problems in that article. So the point is, we've never really known how stunningly great things are going or how terribly, things are going. We've never known. In fact, and I will be, honest, like the things that we have heard have not been good. Like we've heard about Telltale's money trouble. We heard directly from Telltale about delays. Like the game was supposed to come out a year ago. Here we are. We're halfway. Like I'm going to round up. We're halfway through the year, and it's not out yet. Now, I don't need it out tomorrow, but I do want communication. And I don't know, like, again, 4 pictures is a good start. Definitely a good start. But, I said it there, and I would say it again here, and, talking about Summer Games Fest, you got to do more. You've got to come out, and you've got to show this game. You've got to talk about this game. I just don't know any other way to say it. Now, I do feel decently okay about the chances of it being there. It fits a lot of like criteria, right? When it comes to Summer Games Fest, even when it comes to Gamescom, it kind of depends on the year, but oftentimes it'll be focusing on like the second half of the year. I think Gamescom probably leans more towards that, right? Gamescom, Jeff's theme is, hey, these are games coming out in August, or it's at the end of August, so let's say September through December. And then when it comes to Summer Games Fest, it's kind of a mix. You got some fun new stuff to show, and you also have kind of updates and announcements for things that are coming, again, still in the second half of the year. So you might get like an Assassin's Creed double dipping, right? Because they're going to do the Ubisoft event, but maybe that appears at Summer Games Fest because it fits like that fall criteria, right? Maybe you get an exclusive or two from a PlayStation or Xbox or something, right? But that's generally how it goes. Now, Wolf Among Us actually, again, fits quite a bit. Number one, it's supposed to come out this year. So, that fits the criteria of, hey, does this game release after Summer Games Fest, but before January 1st, 2025? Yes, it does. As long as everything's going okay, it should, right? Okay, it fits that criteria. Has it been long enough? It certainly has. Do they have connections with Jeff Keighley? I always say this, but I really think this is the most important thing. And again, going back to the pictures a few months ago, this is the thing. Number one, they announced it through him. Number two, when we got the trailer and that kind of roundtable sit down, which I wish Jeff would actually do more of because I think it's really cool, that he did it with Wolf Among Us. It's always been through him. When the pictures were tweeted out, I thought it literally was an exclusive from him, not even Telltale themselves. So the point being is they obviously have a relationship, and maybe he feels some sort of like way about it, right? Where he's like, hey, I kind of brought it into, probably not like in an egotistical kind of way, right? But he's like, hey, everything for this game kind of has gone through me. It would make a lot of sense the next time you show it off through like a show that I do, right? I would say the same thing for like Dragon Age. Dragon Age has been at like 5 different Jeff Keighley shows. I'm positive that Dragon Age will be at Summer Games Fest, okay? So it fits that criteria. It's got the connections to Jeff. It's been long enough. It's been long enough, and at the same time, like it needs the update, right? Because you just got the pictures, but it's coming out in the next 6 months. You got a show focused on the future. You got Jeff, which has the connections to it. If you asked me, what are some of the games that make the absolute most sense to be at Summer Games Fest? The number one is Dragon Age. I've said that for a long time, and I will continue to say it, okay? Number one is Dragon Age. Number two really is Wolf Among Us, just because it fits, and I feel like it's time. You got to come out there, you got to show another trailer, and you got to give us dates. Like, you just have to. Or, I mean, and when I say dates, month, I really don't want a year. You know what I mean? Like, if they say 2025, I think my jaw's going to hit the floor, right? Like, for the love of God, if you're going to say 2025, say like spring or winter of 20, you know, like whatever, but you got to say something like that. That's what I would hope. So it is my, if I were to do a prediction here, I do feel decently okay about Wolf being there. I think it makes sense. I clearly want it. Like, there's the bias of me wanting it, but I hope it's there. I really do. And I was going to say they have a lot to prove, right? They kind of do, because things have been maybe a mess, probably a mess, whatever. Like, I really don't know, but I have faith that they can do it. And it also is kind of a do or die. I think, you know, we've said that in the past. I didn't say it in this video though, right? Where, you know, Wolf Among Us 2, if this doesn't do well, you know, Telltale, I believe the rumors of the financial struggles. That sounds like Telltale if you ask me. And I don't want, like, you know, I make a joke about it in that way, but I don't want them to have trouble. Like, I want them to succeed. So I understand that probably, and sadly, their entire future rests on this game doing good. And I mean sales, like money. They need money, and this game needs to perform so they can keep making games. I get that, but at the same time, like, I don't know. Like, I think it's either going to do what it's going to do or not. You know what I mean? Like, I think delaying it another year is just going to continue to upset people. Like, the game should have been out by now, and it has, and that's okay. But if you do it again, then it becomes less and less okay. And I just think, and when I say that, let me just clarify. When I say that, I just mean, like, I think people will give up. Just give up hope, give up excitement. People do that. Like, people have a breaking point generally, and if you push over it, there's just not as much care about the product. You can get it back, and that would be like a trailer or something like that, but it is possible you can lose people just by constantly delaying it. So hopefully we get it. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Make sure, as always, you're subscribed to the channel, bell icon turned on, and I hope to see you all on the next one.